Here are 3 must-know melodies for producers, especially producers who like playing smooth. By the way, if you want to know a really easy way to make everything you play sound even smoother and more soulful, make sure you stay to the end of this video. Melody number 1 is what I like to call Pentatonic Butter. And that's actually the first thing I just played. That right there, that sequence is called 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and this just comes from the pentatonic scale. This is literally the pentatonic scale going up. So if you don't know what the pentatonic scale is, if I'm in the key of C major, all I do is I take the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, skip the 4th, hit the 5th, 6th, skip the 7, back at 1. This is my pentatonic scale. The reason this scale is so popular is because all these notes are very consonant over every single chord in the C major scale or the A minor scale. So really what this is doing is instead of doing it from the root, which sounds very lovely as you can tell, we actually do that from the 5th. So 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And we get this really nice sound. Now the reason this is so nice is because obviously, like in that context that I just played it in, it sounds beautiful, but I can also go down with it, right? And we hear cats like R. Kelly do this all the time. All the R&B cats just, it sounds so beautiful. So what I would highly encourage you to do is just to play with these sequences of notes. Yes, we can go up with them, right? We can go down, but we can also toggle between them, right? We can find some nice patterns, right? And we can maybe throw some other notes in there just to find some nice licks. So as we're playing this, you can play it over every chord just to kind of see what it sounds like, right? And then maybe you can toss some other ideas in there, but as you're playing with it, follow your ear and just use this little melodic cell as a framework to generate some ideas so that you're not just shooting in the dark. Number 2 is what I like to call singers. Because singers use this guy all the time in so many different ways, and that is 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 of the major scale. So again, if we're in C, if we find that 3rd, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And even that just sounds so lovely. And sometimes singers will just do a 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. They'll take these first 2 and they'll go back and forth. And then they'll finally, and it sounds so lovely, especially if the chords are moving. And you see right there at the end, I didn't just say 3, 2, 1. I said da-dee-da. And that's because we want to take these as little cells, as like notes that we can play with. We don't always want to go 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. We want to find ways that we can play with this. We want to play with these notes and see what we can find using these patterns. And maybe we can stray a little bit from the pattern, but we want to take these as little cells that we can then play with. And that's why they're called melodic cells.
Real quick, I'm sitting here editing this and I'm like, how many times did I just say the word cell?
Lastly, let's talk about this super common melodic cell that we hear everywhere across all genres. And so what we're gonna do here is everything that we've been playing so far has been major, and you can still take these melodic cells and you can play them over minor. But what we're gonna do here is this one is truly over a minor chord. We just hear this more often in minor than we do in major. So I wanted to give you one here in minor as well. And I like to call this one Rick Ross vibes, because it just is, I don't know, there's something about this one that's dark and mysterious, but it's still classy. And we hear this voicing in particular all over Rick Ross music. It's crazy. Yeah. So in this one, we're playing a descending pattern, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2. So if we're in minor, right? If I'm in C minor here, my 9 is D, and I go. Real quick side note, do you see how I'm singing along with that? I already know how it sounds. When you're practicing this stuff, you always want to sing along with what you're playing. That's the quickest way that you're going to get it inside your musical DNA. That's the quickest way you're going to get it inside your ear. And that way, when you're working on a production, you can hear it right away and you know exactly what it is because you can sing it. If you're just playing the notes, you're kind of one step removed from being able to get it in your ear. Sing everything you play. Quick side note, let's get back into it. So you can see that sounds really lovely, right? And this also works, like we can make some nice melodies out of this, but it also works as a quick flurry, right? Kind of just going up and playing it in the different octaves. And if you actually notice what you're playing here, you're actually playing a major 7 chord, right? 9, 7, 5, and 3. When you put a C in the bass, it makes it a minor 9 chord, but the shape that you're playing is a major 7 chord. So this is a really nice and easy way to kind of think about this shape and using a really happy major chord to get some minor vibes. This is actually one of the shapes that I teach in my free Grips masterclass. The Grip system is a system that I learned studying jazz at the University of Miami, and I've tailored the approach to modern music production so we can get these Rick Ross vibes, these kind of modern pop vibes, without having to wreck our brain over the theory. If you want to check out my approach to harmony with the Grip system, check out the link in the description below. So there you have it. Those are 3 incredibly common melodic cells, Pentatonic Butter, that you can get familiar with. That's gonna really, really step up your game with your harmony and inside of your productions. Now, if you wanna take these cells and anything else and add some extra soul and flavor on it, here's what you're gonna wanna add, and this is super simple. You're gonna wanna add scoops and grace notes. So if you notice, as I was playing these examples, I didn't just play every single note just as it is. So let's take Pentatonic Butter, for example. I didn't just play 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, right? Like that sounds kind of lame, that sounds kind of boring. But what we can do is maybe into the last note, I can scoop into it, right? With a grace note. And I can do that from a whole step or a half step below. So instead of, we get, and that sounds a little bit more interesting. Now same thing with singership, right? That sounds kind of plain, but if I scoop into that first note, ooh, already, sounds really cool. And then I can scoop into the first one, and then I can scoop down into the 2 from above. Right? So I can come from below, and I can come from above with these grace notes. So when we add those little devices into our melodies, we get so much more flavor than just playing the notes straight up. So this is kind of my flavor, but I'm curious to know what your flavor is. If you have any melodic cells that you go to a lot, let me know what they are in the comments below. I would love to kind of mess around with them and get to know you a little bit more so I can see what your style and vibe is. If you're digging this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!